Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to check the Eachine Q90C ready-to-fly quadcopter. It comes in two versions. One is the ready-to-fly version, which is the one I have, and the other one is the FPV version that comes bundled with the Eachine VR006 single antenna FPV goggles. Inside the box we're getting the quadcopter, the remote controller which is operated by 4 AA batteries, a bag with a USB charger, propeller extractor tool, velcros for the batteries, rubber bands, and also thumbsticks for the remote controller, a 300 mAh 2S25C LiPo battery, propeller guards, and one set of spare propellers, and of course the instructions manual, which in my case I actually got the Eachine 013 instructions manual, so somebody got confused because this is not the right instruction manual. As you can see, the Q90C is almost the same as the Eachine Q90, which I've already reviewed. It differs in a couple of aspects. First of all, the shell is not the same. This one is semi-transparent, and the propellers that the Q90 used were dual blades 55mm propellers, whereas this one used tri-blade 44mm propellers. In addition, the Q90 quadcopter used an F3 board, which you can easily configure in Betaflight, whereas this one uses a customized version, which enables you just to do PID tuning on Betaflight. Don't change any other settings because you might break this quadcopter, and I think that I saw a video by Sebidoku that explains how to unbreak it. So just don't mess around on Betaflight, just change PID tuning if you want to do so. In addition, unlike the Q90, which was a bind and fly or a plug and play fly quadcopter, this one comes with its own remote controller. On the remote controller, you can change the flight mode between angle, horizon, and manual. Over here we have the bind button, which probably you're not going to use because the quadcopter comes already bound with this remote controller. And finally we have the channel/game button. It enables you to change the Vtx band. You can switch between all the 8 of them just by pressing this button. I'm going to show you later in this video. And in addition, you are able to connect it to your computer in order to use it with a flight simulator like FPV Freerider. This is done simply by connecting a micro USB cable to the quadcopter. Then turn on the transmitter while pressing the channel game button. Then the computer is going to recognize that it has been connected, and on my Mac it happened flawlessly. All you need to do, just open the Freerider app, then hit calibrate controller. You can see that the sticks are moving correctly. Just follow the steps, calibrate the sticks, then it's going to recognize all the appropriate sticks. Now you're done. You can see that everything is working correctly, and then you can start practicing FPV with this remote controller. It's also wireless, and it actually doesn't feel as good as my Taranis because the sticks are not as accurate, but after a couple of flights I got used to it and I was able to fly it pretty well. Another cool feature that this remote controller or the quadcopter bundle has is a telemetry. For example, now the quadcopter is bound, but if I'm going to disconnect the battery, we're gonna see, first of all, this light is blinking, and in addition we have this vibration that's coming out from the remote controller that tells you that the signal was lost. And this same vibration is going to happen if the battery is going to be low, so it's going to tell you to come back and land because your battery is almost depleted. What this quadcopter is missing though is a buzzer, and I'm not sure why they didn't include one, because in case you're going to lose it, it's probably going to be pretty hard to find, especially if you're flying over grass and then the green color is going to blend with the grass and it's going to be an issue. So probably it is possible to add a buzzer on your own. I'm not going to do it in this video, but if Eachine is somehow watching this video, add a buzzer. It costs less than $1, and I think it will greatly improve this quadcopter. The weight of the Q90C without the LiPo battery and without the propeller guards is 43 grams. If we add the battery, is 58.9 grams. And if you add the propeller guards, it's going to add a total weight of 2.6 grams. By the way, I'm not going to use the propeller guards in this video. I'm not a big fan of propeller guards, and I'm not going to fly this quadcopter in those anyway. Adding them is done by simply removing the propeller and then sliding these propeller guards on the top, so it is quite easy to add, and you're not going to need to disassemble anything in order to add the propeller guards. So after removing the propeller, just simply snap it on and you're going to be ready to go. As I mentioned earlier in the video, changing the Vtx channel is done by pressing this channel/game button. Right now we are on channel 1, and by the way, as you can see, there is no OSD on the video. Now we changed to channel 2 and we lost the signal. Let's get back to channel 1 and see that the signal will be recovered. And now the signal was recovered and the received video is being displayed again. Charging the battery is done with the provided USB cable, or you can use your own charger if you have one. You can see that now this LED indicator is blinking. Once it will turn solid, it means that the charging process has been finished. In order to arm the quadcopter, hold the right stick to the right. Then the quadcopter is going to be armed and then you can take off. Unfortunately, the propellers come off pretty easily when flying, so I recommend you to put a little bit of hot glue just to secure it. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take it outdoors and test it out, and in the end of the video I'm going to give you my conclusion about this quadcopter. So I hope you enjoyed the rest of this video. So overall, the Q90C flew better than I expected. It was very fast, and if I didn't know it, I could easily mistaken this one to be a micro brushless quadcopter. I didn't mention it in the beginning of the video, but you have this button that allows you to change between the rates. You can toggle between low, medium and high. It was a little bit hard to fly it at high mode, so I recommend you, if you're a beginner, start with low rates and then move to medium rates. And even when it was set to the highest rates, it was very hard to do flips and rolls, but it still flies very well. Just don't expect to do lots of stunts with this quadcopter. The sensitivity of the sticks is not great, so it takes some time to get used to, especially if you have a Taranis. And probably if you have a Taranis, this is not the right quadcopter for you, and you should go for a bind and flight quadcopter and use it with your own remote controller. I think that if you are a beginner pilot and you don't have your own gear, this might be a perfect beginner's set for you, because all you need to do is to add FPV goggles. And as I mentioned, there is also a set that comes with VR006 FPV goggles, so it will cost you less than $100, and you have a perfect set to start practicing FPV flying. In addition, the ability to connect this remote controller to flight simulator is great, and you don't have any wires connected, so it's quite easy just to practice FPV flying on your computer without risking crashing your quadcopter, so that's a good thing as well. The propellers are not well secured, so I recommend you to put some hot glue on top, otherwise it's going to fly off the quadcopter quite easily. So just put a little bit of hot glue on top and you are going to be good to go. If you're debating whether to get this quadcopter or the Eachine E013, I think if you're looking for a home flyer, the Eachine E013 might be a better option. But if you want to fly your quadcopter outside, the Q90C is a much better option, and it will provide you with more fun and speed, and you should go for this one. As always, I thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and you find it useful. If you have any questions about this quadcopter, feel free to ask it in the comment section below, and I'll see you on my next videos. Goodbye.